Hello world, I'm Attila. Today I will talk about the Zero to One book by Peter Thiel, and this was a book about how to start a business, how to start a startup, and how you should run it, and what are the basic principles. So it started off by saying that there is no one single formula to success. There are many ways to build a great company because every great company is different. But he shares like his insights and his experiences during the years by starting PayPal and Palantir. There are two kinds of progress: make something better, this is the incremental, and make something new. He rather focused on this second kind of progress, the make something new. And he said that a startup has to question the received ideas and rethink business from scratch. We must abandon the dogmas created before. It said that you should think like the people thought before the dot-com bubble. Because after that, people became afraid of tech stocks. They were afraid of starting something new. And that's not good. You shouldn't be afraid. And you should ask yourself how much of what you know about business is shaped by mistaken reactions to past mistakes. And then it said that businesses should try to create monopolies because capitalism and competition are completely different. Under perfect competition, all profits get competed away so that the customers get the best prices. But capitalism is about businesses creating value for the shareholders and creating profits. And monopolists disguise their monopoly by framing their market as the union of several large markets. So for example, Google say that they are a tech giant instead of like a search advertising giant because they have a monopoly in that space. But there are many other tech giants, for example Microsoft, who doesn't say that like they are an operating system giant, or like they say that they are a tech giant. So the monopolies lie, so they have so monopolies lie that they have competition, so they can avoid being scrutinized. And monopolies are bad in a static world where nothing is changing, but it's good in our current ever-changing one, because entrepreneurs have the option, have the incentive to start new companies and to disrupt old companies, because then they can make profits and they can make money. And monopoly is the condition of every successful business. And it said that a competition is good as long as they appear threatening to the employees. So the founders and the CEOs can motivate the employees to work harder. But it's bad for the business. Competition is bad for the business if it's actually threatening. And the value of a business is all its future cash flow combined. So monopolies are great because they generate a lot of cash flow and they generate a lot of profits because they can charge as much as they want. And to become a monopoly, every startup should start with a very small market and then scale up from that small market. So for example, Jeff Bezos only started with selling books online, and then they became the everything store. There is another book on this topic, The Crossing the Chasm. It's a great book about how to gain the mass market adoption. I will link the review of that book in the description, and it's on the screen now. It is worth listening to. And as a company, you shouldn't disrupt because if your company can be summed up by its opposition to an already existing firms, it can't be completely new, and it's probably not going to become a monopoly. So just think about Napster. It has a bad name, and it didn't become a monopoly because it's not good. Disruption is not good. You shouldn't be the first mover to a market. Of course, the first mover advantage is great because you can capture a lot of the market share, but you should go for being the last mover. So you should be the last company in the market and drive all your competitors to go bankrupt. And it's crazy to think about, but it's true that in our current financial world, most people don't know what to do with the money. So, for example, let's take an idea of a founder of a company who just sold their business. They don't know what to do with this money, so they put it into a bank. The bank doesn't know what to do with the money, so they buy a lot of funds, a lot of large funds. That funds will have two options. They typically just invest in smaller funds, and that smaller funds will don't know what to do with that money, so they diversify it across a broad range of portfolio in a lot of different stocks, because they don't have one single stock that they think that's succeed. And then companies who get the money, they will buy back when they make a cash flow, they buy back shares or issue dividends, because a lot of times they don't know what to do with that money. And this is like a circle. If you get dividends, you again invest that in large funds. And when a company buys another company, it almost always offers too much or too little. So founders only sell when they no longer have a vision for the company. In which case the acquirer probably overpaid. And definite founders who have a plan for the company and have a vision, they don't sell because they have a vision, which means the offer wasn't high enough. So for example, Facebook, Yahoo wanted to acquire Facebook for $1 billion, but Mark Zuckerberg said that he won't sell because he has a vision for the company. And you are, as an individual, not a lottery ticket. If you want a certain future, you shouldn't just rely on luck. You must work hard towards it. And then it's talked about venture capital firms. And for those who don't know, venture capitals are like funds and investors who invest in early stage startups, because startups need a lot of money and venture capitals invest in them. And for a venture capital firm, it's important to understand that if you have a big winner, if you invest in a startup that will be like the next Amazon or next Google, it can outperform the rest of the portfolio, because the rest of the portfolio just invest in startups that will fail or just will have a modest small market share. And so every single company in a good venture portfolio must have the potential to succeed at a vast scale. So it must have the potential to become the next Google. And this is the power law that most often times one thing will be stronger, will be more powerful than all the others. So, for example, if you start a company, you must understand that one market will probably be better than all the others. So, for example, Apple makes most of their money from the iPhone sales, or Google makes most of their money just by their search advertising business. And then it talks about insights and secret opportunities. Because if you are a startup, you must have an opportunity, you must have an insight, you must know something that others don't. So, for example, the founders of Google knew that social that searching will be a big market, and with data you can personalize and you can make better the search experience. And Amazon and Jeff Bezos knew that online commerce will be huge. So the problem is that we have 4 social trends that make it difficult for us to uncover new secrets. So we must understand these in order to eliminate them. So the first one of these social trends is incrementalism. We think that we should move one step at a time. For example, in the school, we write tests, but we only write tests from the current curriculum. If you learn something ahead that is not required, you don't get any extra credit for it. So you just learn small step at a time. And the second is risk aversion. People are scared of secrets because they are scared of being wrong. By definition, a secret hasn't been vetted by the mainstream. The third is complacency. Social elites have the most freedom and the ability to explore new things. So the richest people have the money and they have the freedom and time to explore new things, but they don't want to because they already have a comfortable lifestyle, and they just don't want to risk their portfolios and their money. The fourth one is flatness, because we live in a global world. So if you have an idea, you think that someone better, smarter, or more educated should have had the same idea, and he should have done that idea if it was good. So people don't start new things because they think that somebody smarter would have started it if it was a good idea. And now there are not a lot of new cults because we think that all knowledge is widely known. So you can't really start a new cult because people grew to accept that we know everything, and we have given up our sense of wonder at the secrets left to be discovered. The problem is that you can't find secrets without looking for them. So there are many more secrets left to find, but they will yield only to the relentless searcher. If we think that there are no more secrets, then we won't discover the secrets left behind. There are 2 kinds of secrets: the secrets of nature and secrets about people. Natural secrets exist all around us. To find them, one must study some undiscovered aspect of the physical world. And the secrets about people are different. They are things that people don't know about themselves, or things they hide because they don't want others to know. And secrets about people are underappreciated. They are not thought about many people. We just think that we must look in the nature secrets. And every great business is built around a secret that's hidden from the outside. So then it talked about how to run a business. It said that a board of 3 is ideal. A board is like a board of directors who represent the shareholders in the company, and they make a lot of the decisions with the CEO. And with a board of 3, it's easier for the directors or the CEOs to rule, and the communication is also much more efficient. Because with a big board, people always talk, and it's difficult to reach an agreement. Then it talked about how to pay your employees, because you shouldn't really pay them in cash, because there are a lot more richer companies. So for example, Google, they will be able to pay more cash to your hirings, then you can, but you should pay them with equity and as well with cash, because if you pay them with shares of the company, they will have vested interest, so they will likely stick with the company because they want the company to succeed and they have skin in the game. And it said that no company has a culture. Every company is a culture. You can just hire some specialist or a marketing agency to create buzzwords, or a specialist to create a right culture for your company. It's important to have a strong relationship between the employees so they can work together well. And when you are hiring, you need to answer the question, why would someone join your company as its 20th engineer when she could go work at Google for more money and more prestige? There is no one right answer, because every company is different and every motivation is different, but the possible answers are about the mission of the company and the team. So just think about Tesla or SpaceX. They are the top engineering locations. They are the dream of every engineer for multiple years in a row, and that's because they have the right vision. Elon Musk has this culture around him, and they also have the right team. They have one of the greatest talents in human history. From the outside, everyone in your company should be different in the same way, have the same goals, interests. He said that inside people, if you ask someone, they all prefer the Star Wars, the capitalist Star Wars, to the communist Star Trek, and they all loved science fiction and things like that. And on the inside, every individual should be sharply distinguished by her work. Everyone is just responsible for one single thing. Because if everyone just has one role that they have to fill, and it's easy to track that, and it's easy to, It said that if you are a nerd, or if you are just very into design, or you just want to create a new technological product, it's easy to think that if you build a great product, people will just come and they will pay for your product. But that's not true. Sales are very important. You must invent an effective way to sell your product, because you have a bad business no matter how good the product is if you haven't invented an effective way to sell your product. And it talked about 4 kind of sales strategies that are the usual ways to sell a product. First is the complex sales. It's when you only make a sale once or twice a year, and this is with the most valuable items. So for example, SpaceX had to convince NASA in the beginning to have a multi-billion-dollar contract with them. And with these sales, the relationship is very important, and it might take months or years to build the right relationship. The second is the personal sales, and the average deal sizes might range between 10,000 and 100,000. And this is like the usual sales when there is a sales team and they go to the potential customers and they want to convince them. And the challenge is how to establish a process by which a sales team of modest size can move the product to a wide audience. The third is the marketing and advertising. And this kind of strategy works for relatively low price products that have mass appeal but lack any method of viral distribution. So when you pay for a television commercial, or when you rent a place in the newspaper. And fourth is the viral marketing. and the product is viral if its core functionality encourages users to invite their friends to become users too. So for example, PayPal in the beginning, they gave $10 to every new customer and $10 more if you reference one more friend. And this is how Facebook and PayPal both grow very quickly. Every time someone shares with a friend or makes a payment, they naturally invite more and more people into the network. So they have very strong network effects. And the distribution follows a power law of its own. If you can just get one distribution channel to work, you have a great business. If you try for several but don't nail one, you are finished. Selling your company to the media is a necessary part of selling it to everybody else. So I think again Elon Musk did a great job. SpaceX is often in the news for they have a YouTube channel where they stream their rocket launches, and they are in the news all the time. There is nothing wrong with a CEO who can sell, but if he actually looks like a salesman, he is probably bad at sales and worse at tech. So if you invest in tech companies, you should invest in the hacker types, or who are not the usual type of CEOs. For example, Jack Dorsey or Mark Zuckerberg, who doesn't wear a suit. He's just a jumper at the workplace. And the most famous people in the world are founders too. But instead of a company, every celebrity finds and cultivates a personal brand. So for example, Lady Gaga, there is a person behind it, but it's rather a personal brand. And for every great business, we need an interesting, even sometimes extreme founder. Because if it's just a boring founder who wears a suit and there is nothing interesting in it, in this era of viral marketing, that's not great. And a great founder can bring out the best work from everybody at his company. That's the goal of a founder. And then it talks about will machines and replace men. And it said that man and machine can work alone best. So for example, LinkedIn didn't try to replace the recruiters, but they produce a powerful tool for them that recruiters can use. So we used to, dig the ground, but now we have a lot of machinery that can do the agriculture, not instead of us, but with us. And we have we don't have to do that much physical work. Then last he shared his investing framework, the framework by he evaluates a company, if it's a great company that he will invest in, or if it's a bad company. There are 7 questions. The first is the engineering question. Can you create breakthrough technology instead of incremental improvements? The timing question. Is now the right time to start your particular business? The monopoly question. Are you starting with a big share of a small market? The people question. Do you have the right team? The right team is very important because it's not enough if you have a great plan. You must be able to execute it. The distribution question. Do you have a way not just to create but deliver your product? The durability question. Will your market position be defensible 10 and 20 years into the future? The secret question. Have you identified a unique opportunity that others don't see? So this was a great book, very interesting. Peter Thiel is a great man. He was a part of the PayPal mafia, I think he has a little bit of controversial political views. I'm not familiar with it, but I think this book was interesting. So, thank you for coming in. I create videos every day from a book that I share, that I read every day, and I share in this video the things that I learned from that book. If you are interested in stuff like this, then you should subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow my podcast. So I also have a Twitter account where you can reach me, and you can also reach me in the comment section below. So thank you for coming in. Bye bye.